What does Kevin have to lose by playing Gabriel now? What does he have to lose? Job.
So once again, as I said before, Cleveland's media just confirmed that it's very likely that the Cleveland Browns will draft a quarterback in this upcoming NFL draft, despite having the better quarterback sitting third string in Shedeur Sanders.
Kevin Stefanski just proved he cares more about his own reputation than winning football games, and Cleveland media is finally calling him out on it.
For Shedeur, for all of our offense, we got a 3rd and 1 where he had a quarterback sneak. I mean, there's just a lot of football, and that's by design, with him getting a ton of reps in this game, and he'll get a ton of reps next week as well. That's all part of our development of our young players.
What's up, football fanatics? You think you've seen coaching disasters before? Wait until you hear what's really happening in Cleveland right now. The Browns organization is in complete meltdown mode, and Kevin Stefanski is at the center of a quarterback controversy that's got the entire NFL world talking. We're not just talking about bad play calling here, people. We're talking about a head coach who's making decisions that are so mind-bogglingly stupid that even Browns fans, are calling for his head on social media.
And people are none too pleased. You look at this right here. Browns fans, one head coach fired for post-game comment about Shedeur Sanders.
While everyone's been focused on Deshaun Watson's disasters and the never-ending quarterback carousel in Cleveland, there's been something far more sinister happening behind the scenes. Stefanski has been playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, except he's terrible at chess, and he's losing every single game. The man has had multiple opportunities to make changes, to shake things up, to give the fans something to cheer about, and what does he do? He doubles down on failure.
It would be in Kevin Stefanski's best interest if Shedeur Sanders could play well. All right? It would be in his best interest to embrace him if he can play well.
Remember when Watson was struggling so badly that fans were literally booing him off the field? Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski declared after Sunday's 34-13 loss to the Commanders that any immediate solution won't come at the hands of benching struggling quarterback Deshaun Watson.
All right, let's talk quarterbacks. We've got more quarterbacks than most teams have playbook pages. Deshaun Watson, our $230 million question mark. More guaranteed money than some small country's GDP, and we're hoping he remembers how to play football consistently. With Joe Flacco, we're basically running a quarterback retirement home, and I'm the activities director. If Shedeur, Kenny, or Dylan are talked about as getting a start, I'm probably getting fired as we are that bad.
This wasn't just stubbornness. This was coaching malpractice.
I would say don't speak for me.
Now guess what? Now this is the opportunity. You never fight in public with your spouse.
Yeah, that's putting dirty laundry out.
Because we can talk about this when we get to the house.
Think about it. You've got a quarterback throwing more interceptions than touchdowns, completing passes to the other team like he's wearing the wrong jersey, and Stefanski's response is basically, nope, we're riding this train straight into the ground. But here's where it gets really juicy, and this is what Cleveland media sources have been whispering about in the hallways. Multiple insiders are now suggesting that Stefanski's decisions aren't just about loyalty or stubbornness, they're about something much more calculated and frankly more disturbing. The Browns went from a playoff team to a 3-win mess. You don't fall that far that fast by accident. This is systematic failure, and when you look at the pattern of Stefanski's decisions, a disturbing picture emerges.
The Cowboys looked like an NFL team last night without their starting quarterback. We look like a high school team without our starting quarterback. We look like a high school team with our starting quarterback. Stefanski has to go. He has to go. I don't see how the Browns, honestly.
Let's talk about what's really been happening in that quarterback room. During the late fourth quarter of Sunday's blowout in Baltimore, Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski might have accidentally caused a quarterback controversy between Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Accidentally? Come on! This is the NFL, not Little League. You don't accidentally create quarterback controversies when you're supposed to be a professional head coach, but this is exactly the kind of chaos that benefits Stefanski's long-term strategy.
This is what this is about, to bring awareness to how they're treating Shedeur Sanders as he tries to get his NFL career off the ground. This ain't no way, shape, or form of people producing videos bashing Joe Flacco or Dylan Gabriel. This is about the misuse and the mistreatment that they're doing to Shedeur Sanders.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Cleveland media, and these are people who've been covering the Browns through decades of disappointment, are finally starting to connect the dots. Sports reporters who usually give coaches the benefit of the doubt are now openly questioning Stefanski's motives. There's a growing belief among media members that Stefanski is more concerned with his own job security than actually winning football games. But wait, there's more. During the preseason, we saw some absolutely baffling decisions that had fans scratching their heads. Stefanski was criticized for not letting Sanders attempt a potential game-winning drive in the final 2 minutes, as well as for playing the 5th-round pick in difficult situations without proper support.
So what I'm saying is they gave Joe Flacco an opportunity to play with the first team. And they gave Dylan Gabriel an opportunity to play with the first unit along with the second unit. But when it was time for Shedeur Sanders coming to game, they gave Shedeur Sanders all the scraps, guys that are not even going to make the 53-man roster.
This isn't about developing young talent. This is about creating situations where failure is almost guaranteed and then using that failure to justify keeping the status quo. Here's what makes this even more damaging. Former Browns players are starting to speak up. While they can't be too direct because of professional relationships, the subtext is clear. Multiple former Cleveland players have made comments on social media and podcasts suggesting that current team leadership isn't making decisions based on what's best for winning.
I'm telling you, that guy. I go. Bring out Joe Flacco.
One former Browns offensive lineman said on a podcast last month that he's never seen a coaching staff more afraid of making the hard decisions that championship teams require. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, ownership pressure. Kevin Stefanski faces mounting pressure as the Browns juggle a crowded quarterback room and decisions that could reshape their season.
Stefanski, it's ego over execution, it's plays over players.
But here's the twisted part. This pressure might actually be working in Stefanski's favor. Think about it. If you're a head coach who knows your job might be on the line, what's the safest strategy? Make decisions that can't be easily criticized, even if they're not the right decisions for winning. Here's where the real conspiracy theory starts to make sense, and why Cleveland media is starting to pay attention. If you're deliberately tanking, and I'm not saying they are, but if they were, what would be the perfect excuse?
And Kevin Stefanski handled that situation and this whole quarterback competition horribly because you removed an opportunity for him to redeem himself in that situation to go out as a winner. And again, it's not just we all see it. Players on a team sees it. Players on the opposing team see it. They know what's going on. They know what's going down, but it's all about Kevin Stefanski's ego.
You'd want to be able to point to injuries, to quarterback controversies, to development processes that justify poor performance. You'd want to create a situation where losing games looks like it's due to circumstances beyond your control, not coaching incompetence. Let me hit you with some numbers that'll blow your mind. In crucial game situations, 4th down conversions, red zone play calls, timeout usage, Stefanski's decision-making has been statistically worse than coaching decisions made by random computer algorithms. I'm not making this up. Advanced analytics show that if you fed game situations into a basic football strategy computer program, it would make better decisions than Stefanski has been making in real games.
There's a couple things with Stefanski that I still don't like. It's his 2-minute offense and it's his 7-minute offense in the 4th quarter. With those two things, like, he calls a great game throughout everything else, but those two things are just so suspect to me. I just don't understand. How are we not punching it in? It's like, how are we so undisciplined when we get down here with under 2 minutes?
Sources are telling that the locker room atmosphere is unlike anything they've experienced. Players are openly questioning coaching decisions during position meetings.
One source described the weekly game plan meetings as exercises in creative excuse-making, rather than serious strategic discussions about how to win football games. Browns fans, and God bless them, they've been through everything, are finally reaching their breaking point. Social media is absolutely exploding with #FireStefanski hashtags. And it's not just angry fans venting. These are detailed, well-researched critiques of specific coaching decisions. Fan forums are filled with amateur analysts breaking down game film and showing exactly how Stefanski's decisions have directly led to losses. When your own fans are doing better game analysis than your coaching staff, you've got a serious problem. National sports media personalities are starting to take notice too. During a recent ESPN segment, one analyst said, and I'm quoting directly here, "What's happening in Cleveland isn't just bad coaching, it's coaching that seems designed to avoid responsibility for outcomes." That's not just criticism, that's an accusation that Stefanski is more focused on covering his own rear end than actually trying to win football games.
A couple teams that I won't allow him to play for.
Whoa.
This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. We ain't got to get back there for me to understand what's not prominent for my son. I'm not doing it. Ain't
And
no
if he
in the world.
doesn't listen to you?
Who? No, you must mean owners, like not my son.
Have you told him privately who you would like for him to play for?
It's not like who I would like for him to play for. It's
Let me put this in perspective for you. Look at other teams that have faced similar quarterback situations. Look at how coaches like Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, or Sean McDermott handle adversity and player development. They make bold decisions, they take risks, they put their teams in position to succeed even when they don't have perfect personnel. Stefanski? He makes the safest possible decision in every situation, even when the safe decision is virtually guaranteed to result in failure. Here's what really scares me about this whole situation. If Stefanski's strategy works, if he manages to keep his job by avoiding accountability rather than pursuing excellence, what message does that send to the entire organization? You're basically telling players, coaches, front office staff, and fans that mediocrity protected by excuses is more valuable than excellence that comes with risk. The most damning evidence came from a recent press conference where Stefanski was asked directly about his decision-making process. His answer was a masterclass in corporate doublespeak. He talked about process over results, about long-term development, about maintaining consistency.
I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
And did you, I'm sure you kind of answered this last night, but why didn't you keep him in for the 2-minute, or why did you decide to take him out?
Yeah, nothing more than decided to give Snoop some work at the end of the game.
But here's what he didn't talk about: winning football games. I've been told by multiple sources within the Browns organization that there are weekly meetings where coaching staff spend more time discussing how to frame potential failures in media interviews than they spend discussing how to avoid those failures in the first place. That's not coaching. That's public relations with a whistle. Cleveland media is finally starting to ask the hard questions. Local sports radio hosts who used to give Stefanski the benefit of the doubt are now openly speculating about whether his decision-making is influenced more by self-preservation than team success. So here's the question that's driving Cleveland fans absolutely crazy, and rightfully so. Is Kevin Stefanski genuinely trying his best to win football games and just making terrible decisions? Or is he making calculated decisions designed to protect his own job security, even if they hurt the team's chances of success? Either way, it's completely unacceptable for a franchise and a fan base that deserves so much better. Mark my words, this situation is going to explode in the next few weeks. The pressure is building, the media attention is intensifying, and Browns fans are not going to stay quiet much longer. Something's got to give in Cleveland, and when it does, we're going to find out once and for all whether Kevin Stefanski is a coach who's been unlucky or a coach who's been playing a completely different game than everyone else thought. The truth about what's happening in Cleveland is finally starting to come out, and it's uglier than anyone imagined. Kevin Stefanski might think he's being clever with his strategy, but Cleveland media and Browns fans are too smart to be fooled much longer. This is just the beginning of what's going to be a wild ride in Cleveland. The question isn't whether changes are coming. The question is how dramatic those changes are going to be when the whole truth finally comes to light. What do you think is really happening in Cleveland? Are we looking at coaching incompetence or something more calculated? The evidence is all there. You just have to be willing to see it.